in layman's terms, I asked them if they could project 5 years for us, because a November poll of superintendents to determine the start date for the following year gives us nothing to go on. And some districts were able to see our point. Districts such as TE and Westchester, they do what they do no matter what. They're after Labor Day regardless. Downingtown tends to go to, if there's a building opening based on when it's ready, they might go before, they may go after. But in order to, and I let them know our perspective isn't one way before or after, just a prolonged vision. So I asked for 5. So we'll see what we come back with in March. Our next board meeting will be held on March 21st at 8 p.m. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Mrs. Borges. Thanks for letting the IU know our concerns with the calendar. 6-4, curriculum instruction, Mrs. Borges.
I have no report at this time.
6-5, extracurricular and interscholastic activities, Mr. Stone.
No report, Mr. Kleinfelder.
6-6, finance, Mr. Freeze.
No report at this time outside of the Cal meeting on February 13th.
6-7, legislative policy, Mr. McCall.
Thank you, Mr. President. There will be a meeting of the Legislative and Policy Committee on March 5th at 5:30 p.m. with a hard stop at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. McCall. Item 6-8, Personnel Committee, Mr. Freeze.
No report at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Item 6-9, Pupil Services and Special Education, Mrs. Edmund.
No report at this time.
Mrs. Edmund. 6-10, Technology Committee, Mr. Hughes.
No report.
And 6-11, Transportation Committee, Mr. Stone.
No report, Mr. President.
Moving on to item 7, reputation of routine matters, consent item for items 7-1 through 7-9.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Freeze, second by Mr. LaCoff. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 8, approval of routine matters. We're looking for consent of items 8-1 through 8-4.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Freeze, second by Mr. LaCoff. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 9, Board of Communications, Mrs. Krimmer.
There are no communications, Mr. President.
Thank you. Item 10, Board discussion.
Mr. President,
Yes.
just an anecdote. Watching that film and seeing the Justice's gavel in there reminded me of when we got that. I got it from eBay. And when the school districts found out that we were bidding on eBay, there was a ferocious outpouring of support, money actually, to make sure we would win that auction. And ultimately I won. And it was sold by a guy in England. So that's made out of wood from his courtroom here in, I think, in Philadelphia, no, Washington. And how it got to England, I have no idea. But the stiff competition I had for that thing was from a guy that collected gavels. He didn't care what they were for, collecting gavels. But we won. It was a little over $500.
I have 2 items. The first one is an update on the superintendent search. We're currently in the first round of interviews. We've conducted 2 sessions already. We have 1 more scheduled for March 6th. We will be doing the second round interviews on March 20th and 21st. And we're still on target, hoping to have an announcement in early April. Second item is going forward, consent items for human resources items. I wanted to get the board's opinion on this. We can do it one at a two ways. We can just go ahead and combine them just like we did. The regular items, actually there's three ways we can do each item individually. Or another practice is at the beginning we can ask if there's any items that we want to have excluded from being all lumped together and vote on them that way. I'm looking for a preference.
Mr. President, I'm in favor of consent, provided that as long as we have the ability to pull certain items out for discussion purposes if needed at that time.
I agree with Mr. Priest.
All right, thank you. Any more discussion?
I have one, Mr. Glenfield. I just want to update the board. If we refer back to the January 9th Building and Grounds meeting, I'm sure you've all remember those minutes, but the next steps for the feasibility project was submitting for architectural proposals. We received 13 proposals, and we had a committee of administrations and also community members that got the number of proposals down to 3. At the March 5th Building and Grounds meeting at 6 o'clock, after a hard stop of the LMP meeting at 6 o'clock, right, rumor has it, the 3 firms are going to present to us. So that'll be our one of our main opportunities to have a back and forth with those firms. After that, administration will provide some do some due diligence to follow up on those proposals and the firms that and other school districts they've worked with, and we're hoping for a decision on that shortly thereafter. So it's flexible, but we are going to present March 5th. Any questions, let me know. And I believe all the documentation will be on board docs.
Absolutely.
We can put that in the folder for the feasibility study. Hard stop, 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Any more discussion? All right, moving on. Item 11, old business. There is none. Item 12, new business. We're going to take items 12.1 through 12.10 as one item. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Lacoste, second by Mrs. Ender. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 12.11, approval of conference attendance.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Lacoste, second by Mrs. Giroux. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 12.12, approval of summer enrichment program proposal for 2012.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Marcus, second by Mr. Stone. Any discussion?
Just that this is a great use of our resources, and I'm excited for our community to have the opportunity to participate in some of these programs.
Thank you, Mrs. Marcus. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 12.13, approval of student trips.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lacoste, second by Mr. Stone. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 12.14, ratification of homebound students.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Lacoste, second by Mrs. Edner. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 12.15, approval to grant administration permission to apply for state and federal grants for the 2012-2013 fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Barkus, second by Mr. Lacoste. Any discussion? Get as many as we can.
The other end of the discussion is we want to apply, wiggle out of the requirements, but we
1216, approval of Plain Cottage J project accounting phase for final cost, and that is for the middle school project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hughes, second by Mr. McCaw. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 13, public comments. Information, proposal statements, and/or questions from individuals or delegations pertaining to any item. Speakers are to indicate their name, township or residence. Speakers are limited to no more than 3 minutes. Item 14, board request for information. Item 15, motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Freeze, second by Mr. McCall. We're adjourned. Future dates are listed. Actually, I guess there is one announcement. The school board meeting for April 25th, 2012, correct, is going to be rescheduled for April 30th, 2012.
Can we send out a reminder in email?
Yes, absolutely.
We're adjourned.